Well, 8 volunteer fire departments now have some more funding. That's thanks to the county commissioners approving the critical needs funding. KCBD News Channel 11's Patricia Perry spoke to one of the benefiting departments about the impact this will have on the firefighters and you.
Fighting fires isn't cheap.
One air pack can run you upwards of about $4,000, and we have 15 of them in service right now.
It's pricey to keep the firefighters safe and for all the equipment needed to keep you safe.
And we've seen a huge increase in the amount of calls that we've been running from year to year. We keep increasing every year.
That includes fires and car wrecks. With higher volume of calls means more use of equipment. For a volunteer fire department like West Carlisle, it may be hard to keep replacing old equipment or keep up with the new equipment.
So this funding is going to help us with equipment that we may not be able to purchase otherwise without this extra money they're giving us. Or if we do get the piece of equipment, it might take us several years to save up for it. However, this funding is allowing us to get it almost immediately.
This isn't the first time commissioners have helped the volunteer fire departments. County Judge Curtis Parrish explains in the past, funding has been used for new rescue equipment.
One of the critical needs that some of this money has been going to, some fire departments are using, is this new generation of JAWS, right? Battery operated, not hydraulic operated or air compressor operated, battery operated.
Assistant Fire Chief Kevin Henricks says last year commissioners helped with hand tools and new bunker gear. This year, West Carlisle and 8 other departments told commissioners what departments were lacking.
Basically telling them, hey, we want to spend it on this. This is what we think we need the most right now. So we put it all together for them, give them the prices and all that.
8 of the 9 departments who applied were approved to spend up to $45,454. Henricks says thanks to this money, lives will be saved in Lubbock County.
So out in the rural areas, that's where we come into play. If we have to, you know, Lubbock Fire does come out, and they have came out and helped us with stuff before. But we're the first ones to respond outside the city limits.
Judge Parrish says the 9th department is going to rework its application so it can qualify for the grant as well. Patricia Perry, KCBD News Channel 11.